Hello everybody. Hello and welcome in to the Purple Penguin Craft Room. I'm Vicky. Today's craft is going to be Thanksgiving. We're looking at things for Thanksgiving today, and I thought of risers because you know when you have a Thanksgiving Day table, or even when you have like a snack table or anything, or even when you're just decorating, you want to have things at different levels, and so not everything is all the same. So I was thinking food, right? So the thing we're gonna do today is gonna be actually two things, same thing, two different ways, just to kind of help out and make things fun. So I'm gonna kind of go over what I'm gonna be using, and then we'll get started. All right. So first thing we're gonna use are these. They're called bamboo cutting boards. Bamboo cutting board. We are going to use two because we're going to do two different ones. But they are from the Dollar Tree. The reason I picked these bamboo cutting boards is because I really feel like these are going to handle hot surfaces. If you want to use them for like hot plates or for putting food on. For hot things, the bamboo will hold up. So we're going to use two of those. We're going to be using two different sizes. I've got pumpkins, fake pumpkins. This one is pretty good size. He's probably about almost 4 inches tall. He's pretty good size. You can get foam pumpkins anywhere. I mean, I don't even remember what store I got those at. It was Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Joann's, one of those. I got the little baby pumpkins. These are super cute. They're only about an inch or so. I don't think it even says the size on them. It just says it's a pack of 25. And I don't remember what store I went to. It just wasn't, I know it wasn't the Dollar Tree. They are pretty good looking little pumpkins. So, we are also going to be using a couple of little wood round discs. And these, it says 3.25, so 3 1/4 inch rounds. We're using two of those, some Spanish moss, probably we're going to do some painting, glue. The glue I am going to be using today is not going to be hot glue, just in case I want to potentially use these like with hot stuff on them. I don't want the chance of the hot glue remelting and getting all weird. So we are going to be using tacky glue for this, for both of these projects. We are going to be using the tacky glue or craft glue kind of situation versus hot glue. But, you know, whatever you have, whatever you want to use is totally up to you. This is going to be your project. So let's get started and see where it goes. To get started, we're going to start with our cutting board. And again, like I said, these are from the Dollar Tree. It's just it says bamboo cutting board on it. And they're solid, so it's kind of nice. They're a solid piece of wood. We're going to go ahead, I love the look of wood, but we're going to go ahead and stain it because I would like it to be a little bit darker than this color. So we're going to go ahead and take some antique wax. And we're just gonna, this is what I have in my jar here. And we're gonna take this is just a baby wipe. You can take a damp cloth, you know, whatever you want. The wet helps smooth it on. Being wet, definitely it just helps smooth it on. So you can see, I mean, this is a little bit darker than what it's going to be. It will lighten up a little bit more than this, but if you want it even darker, you can definitely go darker. I'm just using this as a stain, but you can definitely, if you want to use watered down paint, or you know, stain itself, it's totally up to you. You can use whatever you want, personal preference. When it comes to making the wood darker, it's definitely what you like. Not everybody likes the smell of staining. Here we go. So now, if you want to, you can do the bottom too. It's totally up to you if you want to or not. We're going to start, this one is going to be the smaller pumpkins. We're going to use the smaller pumpkins for this. And like I said, you can get little foam pumpkins pretty much anywhere. Everywhere's got them. I mean, you can even get them at Walmart. So we're going to use 4 of them. And we're going to go ahead and pull off all their little stems. And I'll probably save the little stems just because, you know, probably use them in another project or something. Who knows? We don't need them. They're going to just get in our way. Alright. So, we got the 4 little baby pumpkins here. So now, the goal here is we're going to put them as feet. These are going to be our little feet. Now I kind of want to paint them, so I think we're gonna go ahead and paint them before we put them on, just to make it a little bit easier for us. And we're just going to paint them with, I have a Waverly chalk paint. This one is pumpkin. It's actually called pumpkin. So we're going to use the pumpkin. Oh, let's be mixed up a little bit here. A little brush. I'm going to paint one side, let it dry, and then paint the other side. And I will probably also put a double coat on this, just because you might need it. If you want, actually, you don't have to paint the very top, because that's actually going to be glued to the board. So now that I think about it, we don't have to paint the top portion of it. Just the rest of it. Okay. Our pumpkins are all dry, and the fun thing about this paint, the chalk paint, it looks shiny when you first put it on, and then it becomes dull. So, you know, the pumpkins look like this, and now they look like this. So, pretty big difference. It's kind of fun. All right, so scoot those over. We're going to bring back our board. See how it's still a little damp here, but for the most part, that's the color. So it was, and now it is. So I like that. So we're going to scoot this over a little bit. And now we want to put our pumpkins on the corners here. I do want to put some shading on the pumpkins. However, it just makes it easier when they're on a surface to be able to do it. So we're just going to do it when they're already glued on. So like I said, we're not doing hot glue on any of this project, just in case in case this board gets hot. I don't want hot glue to like remelt or just get it all over the place. So we're going to use tacky glue. We're going to use tacky glue. And normally I get like the big bottles of it, so I put them in my little containers. Just makes it easier for me to get it out. So we're going to put a generous amount. Don't be stingy. Generous amount. And basically we're just giving this board feet. Make sure you put the part that had the stem on it up against the board. So you don't want your stem piece to be on the bottom, just in case somebody like turns it over or whatever. You want this to look really nice and neat. So this part's got the hole in it because that's where the stem was. That part is going to go up against your wood. this is already going to be super cute. Right, there you go. And we've got it, little pumpkins underneath. You can see the white right now. The glue will dry clear. If you're worried about seeing the white part of the glue, this does come in a clear, tacky version, clear version. We're going to set this off to the side and let that set up. It needs a good, probably about an hour to at least set up, not completely dry, but at least an hour to at least fully set up. Meanwhile, we're going to take this one and we'll start doing something different with this one. The first part is going to be exactly the same. We're going to stain it. However, you know what? I'll just do that last, since it's just going to be the top portion of it, just so that we can get the rest of this done. All right. So we're going to put a flat piece here. We're going to do a larger pumpkin. We're also going to take his stem off. And it's going to be a pumpkin. And then we're going to put a flat piece of wood on him. So that's kind of our assembly we've got going on here. And so we're going to just put like so, and like so. That's going to be how we've got going on. However, I'm noticing my pumpkin is not completely a level pumpkin. So what we're going to do to kind of help fix that, I think, it is just foam. And I think we can easily do this. And let's see if we can. We're just going to sand it. I think if we just sand it down, we can actually cut it too. Trying to see what part of it is kind of wonky. I can't tell if it's the top or the bottom. I think it's a little bit of the top portion here. A little more. Take this portion off here. Keep going. Just hoping I'm not going to end up taking off too much of it. And if we want, we could actually get a level out and actually check and see. All right, I found my level. Still need to take off. Actually, all right, so that is actually pretty level for the most part. Just get off a little bit more. So our goal here was to get it level. And so we're going to do That's pretty level. Okay. So, but we are going to go ahead, I forgot, we're going to stain these too. So, might as well stain all of our boards at the same time. Let's take this sticker off. That doesn't want to come off very easily, which is fine. There we go. That one did. Okay. Let's go ahead and stain these. We're doing the exact same thing as the other board. We're just using the antique wax and a baby wipe. And again, we're doing these, all these pieces are the pieces that we're going to be doing. You can get these wood pieces from like the wood pile at in Hobby Lobby, or sometimes Michael's might have them. I don't know that I've ever seen them at the Dollar Tree, but you never know. Circles might come around. They're usually in a pack of like 10 or 12 or something like that. Usually you get multiples. Do our sides. If you're finding that it's not getting in the crevices, you can use a paintbrush. Okay, so our board is stained. Was that color, not this color. It is still a little damp, so it will dry a little lighter, just like the first one did. We're just gonna set that off to the side and let it dry a little bit more. We're gonna bring back our pumpkin. We're gonna do the same thing we did with the smaller ones, and we're gonna paint it orange because I want them to kind of match a little bit here. And again, we don't need to paint all the way around the top and all the way around the bottom because there's going to be a top and a bottom piece here. So, and paintbrush just does not want to. My paintbrush is too big. There we go. To get into my paint. Again, it will go on, say it looks shiny, but it will be dull once it dries because this is a matte finish chalk paint. And so typically I do acrylics, but for this project, being that I'm painting on plastic pumpkins, or these are like a plastic coating on foam, basically, I prefer to use chalk paint. Just because I feel like it adheres a little bit better. now that our pumpkin is pretty much dry, which is kind of nice, he looks so much better. There's still a little bit, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead. I want to kind of darken up his seams, I guess. So we're going to take some more antique wax and just kind of give him some shadowing, I guess is what we're going to be doing. It's kind of just a little bit. Actually, you know what? We're not going to use antique wax. I just thought about this. We're going to use acrylic, just a darker orange. We're just going to use a darker orange. This is top-notch acrylic paint, burnt orange, which is actually it's a Joanne Fabrics brand. So we're just going to take, I just want a little brush. We don't need a lot. I kind of smooth it in there. Just kind of darken it a little bit. It's almost like a dry brush in there. So we don't want a lot, but just a little bit of shadowing. Maybe a little too heavy on some of it. We can always repaint the lighter orange color. Okay, there we go. So I like how that looks. So let's go ahead, let's gonna start assembly. So we're gonna take one of the rounds is gonna be on the bottom. And then we're gonna go ahead, again, we're just gonna use the craft glue. Like I said, be generous with their craft glue. And then the other one is going to go right here. Although I'm kind of looking at this and it still needs to come down a little bit. It's still too high. Making adjustments here. All right, that is perfect. I don't think you're going to be able to see any of this part of the pumpkin, but I will go back and repaint it if you can. All right. So that's perfect. I'm going to let this set up probably about an hour or so before I do anything with it. So we're going to put our tray on top of it. But this looks really cute itself. You could almost just leave this as a riser itself, and put like a candle on it. That would look really cute too. So I went ahead and I glued this piece onto the bottom of the pumpkin, and then this piece onto the top, and then I went ahead and I glued onto my board. I accidentally glued it to the top of the board where I stained it, which is okay because this is a taller stand. So I went ahead and I did stain what would have been the bottom. So now it's the top. Just go ahead and let you guys see. It is, I guess you can't see, it is pretty level when I put a level on it, for the most part. It all just depends. I would recommend when placing anything on this, especially if it's heavy, put it in the middle, obviously, because that's where its biggest support is going to be. You know, I did kind of sand a little more of the pumpkin, so that's why it's a little, you see the white, that's not glue. That is part of the actual pumpkin, which, you know, honestly, like, unless you're, I mean, yeah, I should probably go ahead and paint that. And actually, I should probably go ahead and paint it the same color as this board, which is just easy enough to do. It's just the antique wax. And then we'll just take a small brush. I mean, I was actually wiping it off to match, but we can actually paint it too to match. We'll just kind of do a light paint with it. Kind of the look I was going for. Okay, so that looks better. You can't see any of the white parts now. You can kind of see it's a little glossy, but that's just from it being wet. All right, but this is actually very stable. I love how it looks. It'll look even better with stuff on it. Cute little riser. But we're not done yet. I kind of want to add a little bit to the base, you know, just a little something extra. And, you know, with Spanish moss, you know, I love using Spanish moss. And I think it's just going to add to this bottom portion. I am going to use hot glue on this because it's going to be at the bottom. And so we're putting it all down here. So I don't think it's going to be a problem with heat from the top or anything. But if it does, you know, we can definitely, we can try and remove it, or definitely re-glue it with regular glue. So I'm just shoving it in here. So this is kind of adding to its kind of rustic vibe here. And it doesn't need a lot. Just enough to look like it's kind of sitting in there. Probably go back afterwards and we'll give it a little bit of a haircut. Yeah, I like the craziness of it, but I want it to be too crazy. I like how that looks already. That looks great. It adds a little extra. If you really want to, you could actually do it around the top too, but I don't think you're really going to see it as much. So I'm not going to do it around the top, but you totally could. Give it a little bit of a haircut here. Makes a little bit of a mess, but that's okay. There's that. That looks great. And then we're going to bring back our little one. Like, how cute is that? Like, it's dried. You do see a little bit of shiny, but that's okay. It does look great. One last finishing kind of touch to these guys. I kind of wanted to do the same thing with the dark orange, like I did with the big one. See how the big one's got the dark orange, and the little ones are just kind of bald or solid color. So we're just going to take the same dark orange that we had for the big one. And I was kind of waiting until these guys were on here, just simply because it makes it easier. Because there's just smaller, not easy to hang on to them. And I'm just going in their little crevices. So if I get too crazy heavy with it, I can definitely just go back with a regular, with that orange paint again. So there we go. So it's not dry yet, but when it dries, I mean, it will just be darker, as see, versus the plain one. So I like how that looks. But you could totally just leave them the plain too. Quick. There we go. Now we got both sides. We just have to do it to these other two. But that is it for this project. So we've got our little mini pumpkin stand. And it's hard to tell in the videos because obviously you have to be kind of looking at them from an angle. But this will look super cute with things on it. And so will this, sitting next to it. So you'll have different layers. Stay tuned to the end and you'll see the pictures of these actually used as stands. All right. Let people know that you saw Purple Penguin Craft Room and keep coming back for some more. Happy crafting.